since Skull Island came out last year, a lot of people have been messaging me about the upcoming live-action King Kong TV series. On April 18th, 2017, it was announced that a new King Kong television series was in the works titled King Kong Skull Island. The drama, which is yet to be taken out to networks, will have a female lead that will focus on the origins of Skull Island and the iconic eighth wonder of the world, King Kong. So the big question is, am I excited for this TV series? Well, You gotta remember, folks, doing the King Kong review series, I had to review 3 animated TV shows based on the eighth wonder. And guess what? Each one of them sucked ass! I swear to God, I could only sit through so many episodes before I had to turn it off before I went mentally insane. Everything about these TV shows do not work at all, and I hate the aspect of King Kong being a sci-fi futuristic television series that involves Dragon Ball fusions and weaponizing Kong and the dinosaurs and all sorts of stupid sci-fi bullshit. But there's a major catch to this TV series at the fact that it's going to be live action. That's something we've never seen before in a King Kong series, and if they're going for a live-action route, chances are they won't be as sci-fi and futuristic as the animated series. So I do expect a little more effort into bringing back the classic tone of Kong with its adventurous jungle spirit and its use of special effects and monsters. Hell, in some instances, this show feels like something that would play on the CW series. The show is being produced by Mara Vista Entertainment and I Am Global, and the script is being written by Jonathan Penner and Stacy Teitel, best known for the film The Bye-Bye Man. However, its creative consultant has my hopes up for this TV series, and that goes to none other than John DeVito, better known for writing the book Kong, King of Skull Island. If you guys haven't read this book, it acts as a sequel and prequel to the original King Kong, ignoring the events of Son of Kong. And for what it's worth, given I've read the book, it's a decent read nonetheless. However, because of it taking place in non-chronological order, it can be a little confusing. However, it brings to mind one of Kong's greatest foes, Gaw, who is essentially a Kong-sized Archaeopteryx that acts as the god of Skull Island, until Kong is able to claim that throne. In a sense, he's very much like the big one in Kong Skull Island. And given this show is being run by a smaller company, it makes me wonder if Warner Bros. Television will get the rights to the series. Now, Warner Bros. Television has been doing quite well for itself. In fact, their DC superhero lineup on television has actually been doing better than their recent blockbusters. And not to mention, most of this is being done by the CW, which, thanks to these DC heroes, have started to become a much greater television program. And given the fact that this series might be picked up by Warner Bros. Television and the CW, I'm actually all for it because they actually managed to create another giant gorilla for the small screen. Now, bear in mind, guys, I don't really watch any of the CW DC shows, but I am aware that in the recent TV show, The Flash, one of the major villains in the series is the DC villain Gorilla Grodd, who is essentially an oversized talking gorilla on the same size as the original Mighty Joe Young. And honestly, the special effects aren't half bad in this series. And from my perspective, I'll let it pass if they get to do this Kong TV series. Plus, it makes me wonder if Warner Bros. Television does get the rights, if they're gonna connect it to the Legendary Monsterverse. With the success of the 2014 Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, not to mention the upcoming Godzilla King of the Monsters and Kong vs. Godzilla, it makes me wonder if Warner Bros. Is going to push the Legendary Monsterverse to television, similar to how Disney brings the Marvel Cinematic Universe to television with their franchise. Not to mention, the continuity of the Monsterverse also takes place in comic books, with the recent origin story of Kong, which pretty much sets him up to be the Legendary Monsterverse equivalent to Batman. So it makes me wonder, if this is going to be in canon with the Monsterverse, where would it take place in the timeline? Well, honestly, the one thing I would try to do with this series, in terms of tone, is go more for the style of a 90s adventure series, similar to the likes of the Hercules and Xena TV series, which I adored as a child. So yeah, I'm gonna go for the 90s camp of the Herc and Xena TV show for this series, but you know what? You guys know this show? I knew the show was pretty decent, and granted, a couple of my friends watch it, but looking at the TV series Relic Hunters, this is the kind of style, tone, and color I would want to go for this King Kong TV series. Plus, I wouldn't mind the series taking place in the 1930s or the 1940s, similar to the original film. most notably as a throwback nod to the 1996 King Kong that never got made. And hell, if they want to, why don't they make it like the TV show Lost? Now granted, the show Lost isn't really for me, and I'm not necessarily talking about the plot holes and whatnot, but I'm mostly talking about the idea of having a group of survivors stuck on Skull Island and having to survive the amount of chaos in the jungle with all the monsters and Kong himself. So I'm thinking of something kind of similar to The Walking Dead, where while the monsters do exist on the island, we're more focused on the human characters, but we have a chance to see King Kong and the dinosaurs still do their thing. So think of it as Lost meets Jurassic Park 3. Except less sucky. God, I still hate that scene. The only downside is, guys, that while this TV show has been announced, there haven't been many updates since its announcement, and I hope this doesn't end up like the Roger Corman Kong. But if the show does pick up off the ground, I'll be looking forward to it either way since I am a huge Kong fan. I'm still a little suspicious since I had to sit through 3 piece-of-shit King Kong cartoon series. But given it might be in the hands of Warner Brothers Television, and with creative consultant Joe DeVito on hand, my guess is this show will hopefully be pretty entertaining. Because honestly, as many times as we've been to Skull Island, there's still a lot more adventures that have been unexplored and are worth taking a trek in the jungle to find out. So yeah, guys, even though the show has been announced for over a year and I'm kind of excited about it, I'm still a little skeptical about it given my past experience with King Kong on television. But I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on King Kong's Skull Island? Let me know in the comment section below. So until the next video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms, signing off.